Good afternoon, everybody. We are live on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We join you live here at O'Keefe Field for some D3 softball action. Today, we got the Monks of St. Joseph's and your Eagles of Husson University. Hello, everybody. I'm Sam Miller, joined alongside Jacob Ouellette. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Jacob, what can we expect from both these teams in this matchup?
I think we're going to see a good one here today. The Eagles haven't played in 3 weeks, so it's to see which team we get here today. And for the Monks, it's another one to just try and get on the scoreboard. You got another game after this. Hot bats early.
Pitch is low for Sky Johnson in the circle today, having herself a phenomenal campaign. The All-American's third team in 2024 this season with 49 strikeouts on the year. Definitely really proving her worth throughout. Just have a quick 2-0 count now for the starting batter box, Michaela Quintal.
Yeah, Sky Johnson, as you mentioned, she's been one of the better pitchers in the region right now. She transferred in from Tufts, which is a very good softball program, and she's really shown why she's been the ace of this team.
And right on cue, she rivals one into the right inside for strike number one. Quintal, the freshman out of Gorham, Maine, playing at second base today, seeing her first batting of the year to this year. She faces off with Johnson in the box. This one blooped right up. And into the glove of Lexi Volinsky for out number one for the Eagles.
Yeah, good pitch there from Johnson. Falling behind 2-0 to start this at bat. Came in, threw a couple strikes, got right over the plate, and got soft contact for the out there.
Great way to start. If you are the Eagles head coach, Rick Roberts, in his second season as head coach, his fifth with Husson, he's led to the Eagles to 20th in the national rankings throughout his tenure here. A great start if you're him in this team. Johnson faces off now with Madison Pelletier. There's 2 away now, 2-0 count for Pelletier. Johnson taking her time, rifles it in for strike number one. Pelletier with this season a slug percentage of 48%, as well as she's hitting .424 as well. A very dangerous batter if you give her the opportunity. She can really let her bat swing. As that one's low and away. 3-1 count for Pelletier.
Yeah, Pelletier, she's in the circle today, so she's right in the 2 spot, right in the circle. She's a very big piece of this team, and she's going to try and get this offense started here off of a very dominant pitcher in Sky Johnson.
Swing and a miss for Johnson. Got a full count now for Pelletier. Johnson once again working her arm, showing how versatile and dominant she is for this Eagles team. We will be mentioning her a lot throughout this broadcast. Has been the drum that the Eagles have marched to in the circle this year. And she gets Pelletier out for strike number 3. And a quick 2 outs for the Eagles.
Yeah, beautiful pitch there on the inside half of the plate. Just froze Pelletier there. Didn't look like she was looking for that pitch. But Johnson gets 2 up, 2 down. Looking to see her continue to get a dominant performance here this afternoon.
Yeah, once she gets warm, she is very tough to kind of just figure her out. And so far, so good with 2 batters up and 2 batters down. As Chantel Bouchard now takes a chance at Johnson. Strike number 1.
Yeah, first pitch strike there. Bouchard, she was all-conference first team last year. She's been a very dominant player. She won Player of the Week earlier. She won Player of the Week twice last season.
This was blooped over to Volinsky at second base, over to Exel. And 3 batters, 3 outs. That takes us to the bottom of the first. And a quick start for the Eagles. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back here at the bottom of the first, it is Cameron King starting out for the Eagles this season, having a very solid campaign, batting a .366, 1 home run, 1 double, 1 RBI. She takes that one looking away. The starting pitcher, Pelletier, who we just talked about, puts that one right down the middle for strike one.
Yeah, King has been a very dominant piece for this team in the top of the order. Last game going 4 for 7 with the homer. She's been a very spark plug person at the top of this Eagles order, having 25 stolen bases. So if she gets on, she will run, and she runs well.
Synonymous with speed is Cameron King, and that's what you really want to see. It's really someone you really want on your team, someone who just sets the tone for your team, kind of eases into things, gets things started with a great big hit or anything along those lines. Just someone you really want to just get things started for your team. She faces the 0-2 count here. Ball just outside.
Good take there from King. Being down 0-2 in a count, you really want to try and work the at-bat here. Great take there. Very close pitch there, but a great take there by King.
Pelletier having herself a very solid year. On the pitcher's mound, she gets King swinging for striking for out number 1. And Pelletier this year, just a very solid campaign all around. It started in 10 games this year. For a career of 53 strikeouts, make that 54 in her tenure. As Tatiana Biambi steps into the plate now. That one low and inside for ball 1.
Yeah, we mentioned with Pelletier being a two-way force in this lineup for the Monks. It's really good to have someone that's very good on both sides of the ball, both in the box and in the circle, and Pelletier is one of the best at it.
That one's right down the middle for strike number 1. Tatiana Biambi batting a .265 this year. Only 1 strikeout so far. 5 RBIs, 2 doubles. Can really make you work on the plate, as that was in there for strike number 2.
Biambi, very good bat-to-ball skills. You mentioned there, just the 1 strikeout on the year. Her last contest, she went 4 for 7, which is a very dominant performance in a 32-hit performance for the Eagles last time out.
Outside for Pelletier, count is now 2-2. The Eagles as a team hitting a solid 300 on the year for their batting average, 7-9 overall. Not played a conference game yet, as that one's blooped right up the middle for Biambi, and she's going to get a single on the play. Great contact, and the Eagles have one on.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, bat-to-ball skills are very good with Biambi. She took that pitch low outside. That's a tough pitch to hit for a right-handed hitter. Shot it right back where it came from, right up the middle for a base hit.
Just what the doctor ordered. Here are Coach Roberts and the Eagles now stepping up to the plate. Bulla McCabe out of Hawaii. NAGL Conference first team in 2024 and 2023. As that one's blooped over to the third base line. Gets one at second, and McCabe will be safe at first. So Biambi goes out. It'll be 2 outs for the Eagles. Excuse me, for the Monks.
Good awareness there at the hot corner there. It's going to come in a lot quicker than it would for baseball with the shorter base distance. And great play there by Foley to just field it cleanly, get the out there.
She's a good Gior. Steps up to the plate now. Swings and misses for strike number 1. Pelletier again just showcasing her versatility in the circle. Jacob touched on it briefly, that having someone with her versatility is so impactful. She faces the 0-2 count.
And this is a tough part of the Eagles' order right now with McCabe, Gregoire, and Axel. These are 3 dominant forces in the box for the Eagles, and see if Pelletier can work around this 1 base runner here.
As Gregoire pops it up, Quintal makes the catch. And we're still scoreless here at the bottom of the first. We had one on. Had nothing going to it. We'll be right back for the top of the second here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back in action here for the top of the second here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Both teams still scoreless. And stepping up to the plate now, number 14, center fielder Sadie Terrell out of Naples, Maine. Last season was All-State second team, Has batted a .341 for her career with 90 hits. A very dangerous player to have in that batter's box.
Yeah, very dangerous. She's also very good at driving the ball to the gaps, working the left center gap, working the right center gap. She's been a very good force in this middle of this St. Joe's order, and it just shows that she's been one of the better players, as you mentioned, being All-State last year.
Blooped over the net for a 1-1 count. Yeah, Terrell this season, again, just continuing her all-around fantastic campaign, batting a .338, 24 hits, 6 doubles, 2 triples with a 47, nearly 48% slugging percentage, and a 35% on-base percentage as well. Just a very solid player to have in the middle of the lineup as Johnson catches her swinging for out number 1.
Beautiful pitch there from Sky Johnson. Absolutely disgusting off-speed pitch there on the low outside part of the plate, getting Terrell to chase on a not-so-pretty swing there.
Strikeouts continue to pile up for Johnson. That's strikeout number 2 on the game as Sylvia Foley checks into the game to face off with her. And Jacob, with someone like Scott Johnson, who is just so impactful in the pitcher's circle, how versatile is it to have so many different pitches to work with, just working both inside and outside the plate?
It's so important, especially, I know it's not the same being a college baseball pitcher, but having that, getting out and ahead and having the A-plus secondary stuff to work off of it, you can get ahead and you have full control of the at-bat, especially if you're going up 0-1, 0-2 in a pitcher's count.
Now 3-0 here for Sylvia Foley, and it must feel pretty good for Johnson knowing that she's got a very talented defense right behind her that can make quick work of any batter in the batter's box as well. She rifles this one in. 4 straight balls, and Foley will take first base.
Yeah, right there. She was just kind of picking at the corners a little too much there. Johnson, she's been very overpowering this year, and just trying to get back into that after a pretty successful first 4 batters that she faced.
Abby Carpenter now facing off with Johnson in the box. That one outside for strike number 1.
There's a quick little mental reset there on the mound. She saw 4 straight balls there from Johnson, and then internally she had to correct something. She did, found the strike zone.
Blooped down the third base line for a foul ball. Carpenter now facing the 0-2 count. That's what you like to see if you're Sky Johnson, and if you're just an Eagles player or an Eagles fan here, is that when after a rough little patch there where you walked the batter with 4 straight balls, getting her into her mojo now with those 2 strikes, as that one's a little bit outside. Ball number 1.
Good pitch there from Johnson, trying to get that swing and miss, and if it makes contact, just a little weak dribbler to try and get the 2 out, to get a couple outs there.
Yeah, it seems like she's really favoring that outside corner. It seems like as Carpenter bloops that one away, stays 1-2.
Yeah, Johnson's been working very well inside half of the plate, outside half of the plate, top half of the zone, bottom half of the zone. She's really been mixing pitches, mixing locations, and it's been very effective here through an inning and a half here.
Carpenter as well having herself a very phenomenal campaign for the Monks this year. Batting a .319 with 3 doubles. One of the 5 home runs for this Monks team as well. You can really put that ball over the fence, give it enough contact. 11 RBIs as well. A 44% slugging percentage as that one's blooped over to the shortstop, and we'll have. And now on the play for the Eagles results in out number 2. Carpenter gets on base. And Paige Conner now steps into the batter's box.
Hey, good work there from Lydia Rice to just get that out, field the ball cleanly, get the 1 out there. No need to try and rush it for a double play when you can just get the 1 out consistently there.
Yeah, Rice turned the corner beautifully, got it over to Valinsky at second. Just missed Carpenter at first, though. Nonetheless, it will result in 2 outs. As Connery, the senior out of Tingsboro, Massachusetts, playing in left field today. have a chance to go at Sky Johnson. Batting a 270 this year. Just cracked up the first base line for a foul ball. 0-2 count.
See, and that's when Johnson gets ahead in the count, she can work that pitch there, the lower inside half, trying to get some swings. She got the swing there, just check swing fouled off to the first base side.
A bit too high for ball number 1. And what's interesting with a pitcher like Sky Johnson is that every batter is different. Their batter's boxes are a bit bigger, a bit smaller, depending on who you are. But the thing with Johnson is that she's able to find just that one crack in the batter's box at any given time. She gets Connery right there, and that's going to do it for the top of the second. It'll be Eagles up to bat next. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back in action for the bottom of the second. Tori Exel stepping into the box now to face off with Pelletier. Exel, NAC East All-Conference first team last season. Most doubles in its season in program history. Number 19 as she is hit on the pitch. And immediately a batter on for the Eagles.
Yeah, good there to get a runner on base early in the inning. Try and muster some offense here, trying to get a run across here on a very tightly contested pitching duel.
Reed puts down the bunt, just takes off at first base. They're going to get her at first, but Exel saved to second, so the runner will advance. Interesting play there for Lindsey Reed, nonetheless, Jacob. You got a runner on second, and with Kiara McLeod coming up to bat now, pretty dangerous situation for the Monks.
Yeah, absolutely. Very smart smart softball here. Getting the bunt down, moving the runner over. Now you got a runner in scoring position.
As McLeod blues it up past the shortstop and third baseman. Ball's going to be tracked in. Exel will stay at third. And McLeod will go to second. Now runners on second and third for the Eagles in a very dangerous situation for the Monks, Jacob. And with Valencia coming up to bat now, 5 RBIs on the season. Interesting scenario here for the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. Valinsky, she was an all-conference member last year before she transferred in.
As that was blooped down into left field, caught by Connery. Exel tags up. She'll get the run in. And McLeod gets the first nonetheless. The Eagles will strike gold first here in the bottom of the second. And a great play right there from Valinsky.
Yeah, that's where it shows up, where that bunt there in the first half of this inning really comes into play, because then you have more to work with.
Shortstop Lydia Rice pops it right up and into the glove of Cloutier. And that's going to do it for the bottom of the second. The Eagles striking goal first with a 1-0 lead over the Monks. We'll be right back for the top of the third. Top of the third to get underway. Sydney Lacombe from Mechanic Falls, Maine, stepping into the batter's box. Not very many stats on her to start out this year, so kind of an unknown situation here for Sky Johnson and the Eagles. We'll see what happens. Travels it inside for strike number one.
Good pitch there from Johnson, working this bottom half of this order for the Eagles, for the Monks, 8, 9, and 1. You really just want to throw that first pitch strike. You want to be aggressive inside the zone with the bottom of the order up.
Lacombe goes for the ball just a little bit low there. Results in 0-2 now for the Eagles. Johnson to 29 pitches now, 3 strikeouts. Just continuing her stellar play in the circle. That one's just outside for ball one.
Yeah, Johnson really ahead here in a very good pitcher's count now. She really can work anything she really seems. She can work the breaking ball. She can work the really good changeup that we've seen a couple times already this game.
As she gets Lacombe swinging, and that puts her at 334 career strikeouts over her time here at Husson. Just remarkable numbers all around for Sky Johnson.
Yeah, she's been very, very dominant. She's as advertised. As last game against Rhode Island College, 7 innings, had 6 strikeouts. She's been throwing pretty much a strikeout per 9, and it's been very good in the circle, very dominant for the Eagles.
Charlotte Cloutier from Lewiston checks into the game now. Last season, all-conference first team for the GNAC. This season batting a .200 with 9 hits, 1 double, 6 RBIs, and a 29% on-base percentage. Johnson will have her work cut out for it with her in the box, as that one's away for ball number one.
Right now, if you're the Monks, you really want to get a runner here on base with Cloutier. You want to get her on base. You want to get a little action there on the base pass.
Wide for a foul ball for 1-2 count now for Cloutier.
But getting someone on base here, trying to throw Sky Johnson out of her rhythm. She's gotten into a rhythm, and it's been a very dominant one at that.
Yeah, obviously easier said than done to try to get someone like Sky Johnson out of her rhythm. And when she really gets into her mojo, super hard to slow down. As Cloutier bumps it up the second base shortstop right in between and gets yourself on base. Right on cue, Jacob. Just what the Monks needed to do here. Of course, you're facing, now with 1 out, runner on first, and you're at the top of the order once again with Michaela Quintal.
And now you have the top of the order that's been very good for this Monks team throughout the year. Try and build up a little bit of momentum here. You gave up the run. You really want to try and go get it back here in this top half of the third.
Quintal lets it rip. No dice for strike number one. 37 pitches for Johnson in the game in this one. As a team, nearly a 33% on-base percentage for the Monks, as that one's whacked away for strike number two.
Again, a very good pitcher's count here for Sky Johnson. She can really work with whatever she feels comfortable with at the moment, which seems to be everything. She's been very dominant throughout this one, and continue to see that even with the runner on here.
Pitches up and away. 1-2-3 for Sky Johnson. Gets Quintal out of the batter's box for 2 outs. Cloutier is still on first base. It'll be back to Pelletier now.
This gives Pelletier an opportunity to try and get herself some insurance runs, as she is the one in the circle for the Monks.
Low and away for ball number one for Sky Johnson. Pelletier this season batting a .424 as well, 7 RBIs. With a 48% slug percentage. Solid numbers as well. The ball's ripped right over to Gregoire over to Exel, and that's going to wrap up the top of the third here. The Eagles up to bat once again. The Monks had something going for them for a minute. No dice there. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back from the bottom of the third on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Bottom of the third now. Eagles at the top of the order. Cameron King set to face Pelletier in the batter's box once again. Now, so far, Jacob, in this game, what do we kind of see from both these teams?
Right now, we've seen two very good pitchers so far. Sky Johnson, we mentioned earlier, she's had 5 strikeouts. Pelletier has looked really good in the first half. This is a chance for both teams to try and get some runs across and try and build up that momentum heading into game 2, as this is only a 7-inning contest. So we're coming down to the wire here already, even though it's only the third.
Cam King bloops it over to Foley. She's caught at first base for a quick out for the Monks. A very good sight to see for the Monks. One pitch, one hit almost, but then just right over to first base for an easy out.
Yeah, very quick at bats. It's really what you want. As we see a lot of the times in softball, a lot of the people that are in the circle, they usually go the entire game. So the quicker the at bat, the less wear and tear on your arm you have, and the more you can go throughout the later part of the season.
Definitely a battle of attrition when you're sitting in the pitcher circle, just trying to make sure that you get every batter out as quickly as possible. Not only just, as you said, Jacob, just to conserve your stamina and just make a quick wrap for the inning. As Biombi faces a 2-0 count here. Pelletier so far with 1 strikeout on the game. But like Sky Johnson, you let her get warm, and she is really hard to stop when she gets into a groove.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it, getting people on base, getting the pitcher out of their rhythm. We saw that in the second with the Eagles, with Tori Axel getting on via hit by a pitch, and that has the Eagles. They got a run across after that, so they got Pelletier out of her rhythm, and the Eagles put one across the scoreboard. And now Pelletier wants to try and get back into this one.
Biombi splices it up right into left center with an easy single for the Eagles. Man, a great reaction right there from Biombi.
Again, another opportunity for the Eagles, taking the ball right back up the middle. Take it right back where it comes from. That's what we're told when we were playing as kids. You want to try and hit the ball right back where it came from. Right there, Biombi shot it right up the middle, right in front of the center fielder there, Terrell.
Biombi 2 for 2 on the game now, as McCabe steps back into the batter's box. 0 for 1 in this game so far.
McCabe, a very dangerous power hitter in this middle of this Eagles order. No matter where she gets it, she can drive the ball to all fields, and it's very good when she can shoot that ball to right center, shoot that ball to right field with power. And that's when you know that she's in a groove. We saw it later in the year last year in a big playoff push for the Eagles, is when McCabe was shooting the ball the other way for extra bases.
She's only striking out 4 times this year in the batter's box. McCabe with 11 RBIs. Doesn't matter how many people are on base. As you talked about, very powerful in that batter's box, can put the ball over the fence with the snap of the fingers. And with any runner on base, she is dangerous to have at the plate. She faces off a Pelletier. Revels inside, over to Foley at third base. Gets Biombi at second. McCabe will advance to first. So 2 outs for the Monks. Again, a very solid showing defensively so far for St. Joseph's.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing that this Eagles lineup, you get runners on base and you cause traffic on the bases, this Eagles team's going to capitalize on it. And for the Monks to be sound defensively and keeping runners at only first base for most of this contest, it's been a very good thing to see.
Gregoire pops it back over to Pelletier. Will she get there? And she's safe! Oh, nope. It looks like the pitch was called back by the umpires. A little bit of a late call there nonetheless. It will result in 3 outs for the Monks. That'll bring us to the top of the 4th. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back on Husson Eagles Sports Network. Top of the fourth now. Eagles still a 1-0 lead over the monks of St. Joseph's. Chantal Bouchard checks back into the game to face Johnson in the batter's box. A little serious history between these two teams. All time, St. Joseph's leads 50-23 in terms of games played. But over the last few years, Husson has a 10-game win streak, has not lost since 2013. This team, the last time these two teams played was a 5-3 win in extra innings as Husson scored 2 in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, and that one was another pitcher's duel between the Eagles and the Monks. It really shows what these two teams can do. These two teams are two of the better teams in the state. And getting pitching matchups like they have over the recent years, including today, it's been a very good treat to see.
Yeah, I was about to say, it just allows for good quality softball, not only for the players, but for the fans here in person and also watching at home. It's an all-around good time for everybody involved. As Bouchard faces a 1-2 count. Through 42 pitches now, Johnson has 5 strikeouts on the year. Again, just continuing to add to what has been just an overwhelmingly successful tenure here at Husson. As Bouchard trying to wear her down. Pitches outside, 2-2 count.
Another good pitch there from Johnson. She's very competitive around the zone. Very close on the edges. She's not really throwing many pitches down the middle of the plate in that middle 3 quadrant.
Bouchard pops it up to left field. Getting under it was Tatiana Biambi. And 1 out here for the Eagles to start out.
Very good communication out there between Biambi and King. Biambi knew she had it right off the jump. She called her off right off the jump. Especially with a field like this where it can be a little wet, especially because it's rained the past couple days. A collision is not something you really want to see, especially with 2 people that are at the top of the order for the Eagles.
How big of a transgression can weather play, and how big of an impact can it have? Like after a few days of not playing, especially for the Eagles who haven't played in so long, does the weather impacting the field? How big is that?
Oh, absolutely. Having you can see on the in person, you can see all the different colors of dirt in the infield. It's all the quick dry. That stuff is not fun to play on because that stuff can really take bounces either way. And not playing after 3 weeks, weather, constant cancellations between the series with Colby that has seemed to have been canceled every week for the last 3 weeks. And it gives the Eagles, they haven't been able to play a lot on the dirt because of the weather. They've had to play over at Boucher practice at Boucher on the turf or at the wink and on the turf. So turf and grass are 2 very different things, especially when not playing over 3 weeks.
There's anything to say about the Eagles, though, is that they will welcome any sort of challenge, especially doesn't matter what the weather is. They will face it head-on as they've done all season. This is a resilient bunch. We talked about 7-9 overall on the year, including, as that one's blooped up by Sadie Terrell, including Johnson's dominance today. 2 more pitches will put them at 2 more strikeouts will put them at double-digit strikeouts on the year, which will go to show not only the versatility and dominance of Scott Johnson, but overall, all the pitchers for the Eagles this year.
It's also, you mentioned 7-9 record. They played a lot of very good teams, a lot of nationally ranked teams down in Florida, and that was over a month ago at this point. So that was the last time they seriously had they had a lot game action. Was about a month ago against top 25 teams in the country. And they held their own in those games down in Florida. It was a very grueling schedule, playing every day, playing a region powerhouse in Ithaca College that they played really well against. The score didn't show it, but they played very well against a very dominant region opponent in Ithaca College.
Blitzky gets Terrell with the pop fly out for out number 2 for the Eagles. But yeah, to your point, Jacob, I mean, obviously, the very grueling schedule, but those are the games, all in all, whether you win or lose, they're going to make you better as a team and as a collective bunch. I mean, all really it comes down to is the experience you get out of it, and it goes to show that the Eagles this year, a very, very different team as opposed to what we saw earlier this year, really turned things around. Of course, 7-9 overall. Might not jump out on the page to anybody, but this is a very, very talented and very deep lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw it last year. This team made a very deep push in the national tournament last year. They were very dominant on the scoreboard. They made it to the national tournament last year. They won the conference last year. One of the more dominant teams I've ever seen play. And the team, they didn't lose that many people from the team, but it was just this group has been coached so well over the past few years, especially with a newer regime, and it makes it so much fun to watch being up here in the booth watching these games.
As Foley is hit his blooped up to center field, but nearly dropped, but it was dropped by Cam King. It will result in Foley getting on first base. And a nice little hit and another hit for Foley for this season. Now, if we want to talk success, Jacob, looking over at the Monks, their head coach, Jamie Smith, has been on an absolute tear throughout their tenure there. The winningest coach in St. Joseph history in his 28th season. As the ball is blooped into left field, Biombe gets under it, and that'll end the top of the fourth here. The Eagles, despite letting up one hit, will keep the game scoreless for the Monks. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back for the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth set to get underway here, but just before we went to break, we were talking about Jamie Smythe for the Eagles and his dominance, or excuse me, for the Monks, and talking about his dominance in the program. 8 conference titles, 9-time coach of the year, an overall record of 606 and 432. The winningest coach in St. Joseph's history in his 28th season here. Last season, they lost in the GNAC championship game to Simmons, but this is a very talented coach team as Exel's pitch over to Foley at third base. And he's going to turn the corner and get caught for out number 1.
Yeah, as you mentioned, collegiate sports is a nightmare for coaching. It's a very quick turnaround. You don't see success in 4, 5, 6 years. You get replaced. And to be able to coach for now 28 seasons at the helm of one program, it's really good to see, because when you see recruits come in, they're going to know who you're coaching by.
As Lindsey Reed gets moved over, Cloutier put it up in a great stretch by the first baseman in Sidney Lacombe. A great stretch to get out there for 2 early outs in the bottom of the fourth of this inning.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one where you kind of got to go all the way out to try and catch that. Lacombe made the catch there. It's been very solid defensively over there at first base for the Monks throughout the season.
With 2 outs down, Pelletier continuing a very solid pitching campaign. Only 1 strikeout in this game, but has really done a lot of dirty work in that circle. Has not allowed, besides that 1 run earlier on in this game, has not allowed too much success for the Eagles here. As McLeod fouls that one away for a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Pelletier has been very solid. She's been mixing locations. She's been mixing speeds, which has really been throwing off the Eagles in the batter's box. I know the Eagles haven't played in 3 weeks, but it's still seeing very good pitching there from Pelletier, as she's been able to mix locations, mix speeds, throw the Eagles off in the box.
Yeah, again, we talked about it with Scott Johnson, but having a pitcher with that kind of versatility where you can just change your speed with every single pitch, doesn't matter if you're throwing sliders, curves, anything like that. If you're able to change your pitch, it makes you such a versatile weapon in any form of softball, whether it's D1 through D3. Makes you such a threat as McLeod faces a 2-2 count.
Absolutely, and you see at the upper level, at the Division I level, you see pitchers in the circle. They know how to mix the zone. They know how to mix locations. They know how to mix speeds, and they're really dominant. That's why you see programs like Tennessee and Alabama and all these big SEC schools very dominant because the pitching staff has been really good. And even here at the Division III level, two teams that have very dominant pitching staffs. And it's really showing only 1-0 here through 3.5.
And that first run was brought in by the Eagles in that bottom of the second, and since then, both teams stalemating in the batter's box. As Jacob mentioned, a testament to how talented both these two teams are in the circle. Is that pitch very close? Nonetheless, it will result in McLeod getting on the to first base.
Yeah, and it's something that I learned throughout my time playing. It's always, you always hear, be competitive, be close to the zone, be competitive in the zone, throw competitive pitches. It was another competitive pitch there from Pelletier, but she just couldn't get the call there.
Ball low and just above the batter's box, strike number one, as Valinsky steps into the batter's box. Batting .225 on the year, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 5 RBIs.
This is a spot right now for the Eagles where you really want to get that. You want to get that insurance run. You're only up 1. The game of softball can change on a dime very quickly. 1 run is nothing in sports, whether it's 1 goal lead in soccer, or a 1 point lead in basketball, a 1 goal lead in hockey, 1 run in baseball or softball. It's always something that can flip on a dime. And being the Eagles, they're going to want to get that insurance run as we get to the later half of this game.
As Valinsky is caught swinging, Pelletier gets her second strikeout of the game, and we're going to head to the top of the 5th here, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Husson Eagles Sports Network. There we are, top of the 5th now. Eagles still up 1-0 over the Monks of St. Joseph's College. If you're just joining us here, I'm Sam Miller doing alongside Jacob Ouellette. And Jacob, before we went to break, we talked about how basically no lead is safe anymore, even for any given sport at any level. I really like what you brought up there, because we've gotten to a point now where teams are so talented and so deep now, with so many players being able to do pretty much anything. As the ball is blocked up by Connery, Yumby calls away her teammates and gets a nice catch for the Eagles. But yeah, we're at a point in time now where teams are so deep and so loaded up and down their rosters with so many players who are so versatile. So we've really gotten to a point where now it doesn't matter if you're up 1 run, 2 run, 5 runs, 10 runs. Anything can happen at any given point.
Yeah, absolutely. And a more recent example is that in the Hockey East playoffs, that Northeastern was up 2 goals with 1 period left against the University of Maine, and they ended up losing that game. Northeastern did. It's just, you got to be on your A game day in, day out, and being able to have an extended lead on your A game, it's a much more daunting task than a 1-run lead with a team that's not really on their A game.
Every single team is on their A game, and these two teams in particular, their pitching has been phenomenal. As 3 pitches gets Sydney Lacombe at the plate, Scott Johnson, strikeout number 6 on the game.
Yeah, another fantastic pitch there from Johnson. She worked the rise ball high in the zone and getting the swing and miss. She was up 0-2 in the count, and she could really play with whatever she wanted to do. She decided to go with the heat there, got a swing and miss, strikeout number 6 on the day.
Johnson faces off with Cloutier once again. Cloutier 1 for 1 on the game, had that solid hit between left center earlier in this game. So one of the only base runners for St. Joe's in this game. She's swinging a miss on that one. 1-1 count.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there in the third from Coultier to drive the ball up the middle. It was a little off the end of the bat, but she still got it up the middle, right in the spot where nobody was. Got the Monks on base. They couldn't capitalize on it, but it was a good sign knowing that Johnson was very dominant through the first 2+ innings there.
Yeah, we talked about it throughout this broadcast, just how talented both these two teams' pitching staff is. I mean, just take a look at any of their names, any of the pitchers on this sheet, and they can give you really, really good numbers at any given time. As Cloutier goes down swinging, and that's going to do it for the top of the fifth here. The Eagles with a chance to potentially extend their lead here at the bottom of the fifth. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Bottom of the fifth, set to get underway. Lydia Rice steps into the batter's box to face off with Pelletier. And Jacob, for the Monks in that last inning, really seems they haven't really had a lot of opportunities to get any balls just kind of in play. And once again, you have to give a lot of credit to Sky Johnson and her dominance in the circle.
Yeah, absolutely. And like in game 2, like Danielle Masterson, who's also been a very good pitcher for this program, she's most likely going in game 2. That's also another dominant pitcher for the Eagles. And Masterson came in as the ace last year, just sub-2.
As Rice sends it back towards left field, nearly got out of the park. She's going to turn 2, looking for third. She's going to get down, and she will be safe at third. And what a great start to the bottom of the fifth as Lydia Rice with a fantastic hit.
Very good, aggressive base running there from Lydia Rice. She saw that it was slow coming off the wall. With the chain link fence, you never know where the ball is going to bounce, especially with the size of a softball. Taking that extra base with no outs, giving the Eagles a chance here with the top of the order due up with a runner on third with no outs.
That's a fantastic start if you're Coach Roberts and this Eagles squad. As we're back to the top of the order, Cam King checks into the batter's box again. Lydia Rice just continuing to add to her solid campaign. 294 on the year, 2 doubles. Her first triple of the season was that blast to left field and puts the Eagles in a very good position to start out this bottom of the fifth.
It's also a very good situation for the Eagles. Top of the order coming up. Really anything up the middle, any ball that's hit up the middle is going to drive in a run. With Lacombe and Foley playing in, a ground ball to the corner might not do it, but anything else in this on the field is going to drive in a run, going to get that extra base for the Eagles, get that extra run on the board, and you still got 2, 3, and 4 due up after Cam King.
And you saw that right there. Cam King decided to try to attempt a bunt there. Did go off foul ball as did that crack shot to left field. And it'll be 0-2 now for Cam King. The pitch from Pelletier. Whacked away by King once again. Strong. Facing off with Pelletier in the batter's box is Cam King. And a chance to drive in another run to extend the lead to 2.
Working a strong at bat here is King, being down 0-2. She's fouling off pitches left and right here. And a great take there for the first ball of the at bat. But it's a very good at bat. The Eagles have been very pesky at the plate throughout the year. fouling off pitches, fouling off contested pitches, taking good pitches, working counts is something the Eagles have done really well all season.
Yeah, and working the arm like someone like Pelletier is obviously easier said than done, as she has had a very dominant stretch at her time at St. Joseph's. Adding on with this game included a total of 55 strikeouts for Pelletier. Just goes to show how dominant she is in that circle. As Cameron King bloops it over to center field. Getting under it is Terrell, but that's going to drive in Rice. And the sac fly extends the lead for the Eagles.
Yeah, good situational base softball here. Driving that ball to the outfield, you know that you got to get a ball up in the air into the outfield with a runner on third with less than 2 outs. You want to get that ball in the outfield, in the air, and King did a great job shooting that ball to center field, driving in a run to extend the Eagles' lead.
Tatiana Biambi checks back in once again. Faces the strike one there. She's 2-2 on the game with 2 great hits. Has been a threat for the Eagles in this one, as she has been all year. Pitch is low and away. Counts 1-1. Season batting at .265 with 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a career average of .219. As that one's in for strike 2.
Good pitch there from Pelletier to get ahead in the count. She's been very good. When she falls behind the count, she gets back into the count very quickly and very efficiently, which is something that's been really good for St. Joe's, only having the 2 runs on the board for the Eagles.
Biambi whacks that to center field, and once again, it's Terrell getting under it. There's 2 outs for the Bunks, both a result of the quick reaction play from Sadie Terrell.
Yeah, very, very active out there is Terrell. She's gotten a lot of balls hit out to center field for her, and she's been very good out there making the plays that she has to make.
MCBSA 2024 All-State second team was Sadie Terrell in 2023. A very phenomenal player with coming into this one, a 98%, nearly a 99% field percentage. Just a very solid player overall, and one of the key pieces to this incredible St. Joseph's team, as Bola McCabe faces a 2-0 count.
Yeah, and she does it in all 3 facets of the game. She does it in the box. She does it on the base path. She does it out in the field. She's a very good piece for the Monks, as she's hitting in the 4-hole for the Monks, and she has been all season.
Ball number 3 for McCabe. Pelletier just trying to work, it seems like a little bit outside of McCabe's batter's box. Tries to, knowing she is wary of the threat that McCabe poses while she's standing in there. Nonetheless, it's not worked out in their favor as she faces a 3-0 count. As McCabe rifles that one to left field. Boots a turn the corner. She'll stay held up at first base. And Jacob, it seems like the Eagles now slowly but surely getting to some sort of rhythm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there, she found McCabe. She found the pitch. 3-0. It's really, you want to swing at your pitch at a 3-0 count. McCabe found her pitch. It leaked over the middle of the plate, and she drove it to left field for the hit to continue this good offensive inning so far for the Eagles.
Making Pelletier work on the mound as McCabe goes to the dugout, and Ella Hosford will take her place as a pinch runner on first base. Of course, Coach Roberts appreciates the speed that Hosford has, so they will put her out there to advance some runners here as Gregoire steps back into the box.
Another dangerous threat. We've mentioned that a lot throughout this game. Really, 1 through 9 is a dangerous threat in this Eagles order. All of them can get on base. All of them can drive the ball for extra bases. In this middle of the order, with a 2-run lead, is going to continue to look to capitalize and add a little extra insurance heading into the 6th and 7th.
Gregoire has 4 career home runs for the Eagles. This season, 9 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 triple, batting a .449. As that one's fired down the third base line for a foul ball.
Almost took off Coach Roberts' leg there. quick feet over there in the third base coaching box to get out of the way on that one.
Yeah, getting one of those balls right to the knee would definitely not feel very good.
Oh, absolutely not. Especially with it being a little chilly in this one. I know we're both up here in long sleeves, so it's cold in here. I can't even imagine what it feels like out there. You see people bundled up in hats and mittens and blankets.
As Hofford takes off for second base, and they're going to get her at second, and that's going to do it for the bottom of the fifth. As a great reaction play from the Monks. Decides the inning to be over, and we'll be right back for the top of the sixth on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Top of the sixth year Eagles scoring in that last inning, now holding a 2-0 lead over the Monks of St. Joseph's now. The Monks at the top of their order, Michaela Quintal 0 for 2 on the game, as that one is clobbered over the fence for foul number 1.
Yeah, right now, if you're Sky Johnson, you really got to feel a little more confident. I know you're definitely really confident in what you've done so far, throwing 5 scoreless innings, but now to have the extra insurance run, to get in that 2-0 lead. So now you can play around with the strike zone a little bit. You can play around with pitches a little more, and you can still feel confident in the circle.
A little experimentation Johnson can do now with the extra run there. Obviously, this is we talked about during this game. This is a St. Joseph's team that at any given point can turn the lights out with batting. As Quintal pops it up, Rice is under it, easy out for out number 1 for the Eagles.
Yeah, another efficient at bat for Sky Johnson. She's only thrown, from what I can see in my book right now, only 3 or 4 counts where she's had more than 3 pitches in the at bat, more than 3 or 4 pitches in an at bat. So she's been very efficient. She's throwing a lot of strikes. She's filling up the strike zone, and she's getting the defense behind her.
Pelletier facing off with Johnson in the batter's box. Herself 0 for 2 in the batter's box, but again, just putting on a very good show in the pitching circle, as that one's low and outside for ball number 1. Johnson is continuing to put on a clinic in this game, showcasing her versatility in the circle as Pelletier faces a 2-1 count.
Right now, Pelletier ahead in the count now, so she can really work a little more. She can work a little more aggressively now. She has a couple strikes to work with, trying to get on base, trying to drive some momentum.
That one's looped over to Valinsky, over to Exel, and quick 2 outs for the Eagles to start this top of the fifth. They're 6, excuse me.
Another good, efficient at-bat there from Sky Johnson. She's working really well in the circle, and she has been as advertised. I know this is my first experience watching Sky Johnson here. She transferred in this year, but everything that I've heard has been as advertised.
Chantal Bouchard into the batter's box for the Monks. Now Johnson continuing to add to a very solid game. And now the Eagles, with her 7 strikeouts, have now reached 100 strikeouts as a team this year, as Bouchard hits it over to Biombi in left field, bounces off the fence. She's going to turn the corner for second. Great pitch to throw to cut that off by Biombi. to avoid any advancing bases. But man, just what you want to see if you're the Monks.
Yeah, absolutely. First extra base hit of the day. First time that the Monks have gotten a runner in scoring position. So now with Terrell and Foley due up here, you have good hitters to try and drive in a run, try and cut this deficit down to just one.
Terrell in the batter's box for the third time now. She loops that one over to the shortstop, Rice, and that's going to do it for the top of the sixth. The Monks had a little bit something there with Bouchard's rip of a hit, but the Eagles stopped that momentum, and they'll be up to bat next in the bottom of the sixth. Bottom of the sixth set to get underway. After a little bit of momentum for the Monks, the Eagles had halted it, and now Julia Gregoire steps into the batter's box. Third time in this game. She clobbers it up. A great play from Foley and gets it to the outstretched arms of Lacombe. Man, great play from both those players.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a hot shot to third base, and Foley fielded it cleanly, looking like prime Nolan Arenado out there. Just nice, strong fielding. Throws it across. Good, strong throw. Lacombe makes another fantastic stretch over there at first. And she's done that a couple times, saving the Monks with getting some outs.
Tori Axon into the batter's box. Yeah, we talk about, throughout this broadcast, we talked about the depth and the versatility and the talent of these Eagles, Jacob, but St. Joseph's, so much talent and so much versatility on their own end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Being 7-13 on the season.
As Exel plops it up into the glove of Bouchard, and a quick 2 outs for the Monks to start out the sixth inning.
Yeah, knowing that St. Joseph's is 7-13 on the season coming into today, but they've played very competitively through those 20 games on the season, and they just haven't gotten the luck in the score column, but they've played very good pitching, very good defense, as we've seen today.
Yeah, this St. Joseph's team, their 7-13 overall record might not show it because of the talent they've been playing, as that one's high and away for ball number one. But this team, as we talked about, so deep and so talented up and down the roster. Pick anybody on their team, they can go to anywhere else in the state, and they will do wonderful things for that squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely playing softball or baseball in the Northeast, specifically Maine, is very challenging. It's very mentally taxing with all the weather that you never know what's going to happen. But everybody that's played here today, they've been very solid. They've been very good. And it's very bright futures for both these teams.
This Peltier's pitched right down the middle for strike number one as Lindsay Reed faces a 2-1 count. Reed 0 for 1 so far in this game, but a very solid player in her own right. As Reed bloofs it up under the glove of Cloutier, and that's going to do it for the top of the sixth. For the sixth inning. We'll be right back for the top of the seventh. And will be a very interesting game for the rest of the way on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Back in action here for the top of the 7th. As Sylvia Foley checks back into the game, or checks back into the batter's box. Sky Johnson looking to add to what has been a very solid game as well. 7 strikeouts on the game.
Again, we mentioned as advertised with Sky Johnson, getting another swing and miss there early in the count, just getting ahead in pitchers' counts all day, which has been very good for the Eagles.
As that one's tipped for strike number 2. Foley facing the 0-2 count.
Lots of limited traffic on the base pass for the Eagles to have to worry about. Only allowing 2 hits here in this contest so far.
Out of the 5 firm runs for the Monks, Foley has one of them in this year. 295 average with a 47% slugging percentage. Definitely someone that when you're down 0-2 in a game as tightly as this, in the last stretch of innings here, this is someone you want at the plate to kind of just swing momentum and turn it into your favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we mentioned it as we call back to earlier on the broadcast. We mentioned that no lead is safe. 2 runs here, 5, 6, and 7 do up 3 very good hitters for St. Joseph's. A 2-run lead is not really a safe lead here, even though that Sky Johnson has been very dominant in the circle so far.
As that one's blew right over to Johnson in the circle, easily over to Exel for a quick out number 1 for the Eagles.
Yeah, very good there from Johnson. Liner right back up the middle, knocks it down, and takes the time, makes a good throw over to first. You see a lot of times pitchers, they panic as soon as they get the ball. They panic and they make a bad throw to first, or the first baseman has to save them. But there, Sky Johnson took a deep breath, made a good throw over there to get the out.
Abby Carpenter now facing off with Johnson in the batter's box. Lets that one go for ball number 1.
Abby Carpenter, another one of those batters in this St. Joseph's order that has hit a homer in the season. So another dangerous power threat here in the right-hander batter's box for St. Joseph's.
And it looks like Johnson has noticed that as it seems like both of her last 2 pitches have come a little bit farther outside in that batter's box. So try not to give Carpenter too much leeway in order to absolutely wallop it over the fence. As that one's cracked into center field, getting under it is King, and that's 2 quick outs now for the Eagles.
Yeah, very good there from King. She dropped the fly ball out in center field earlier on in the contest. This time she got both hands on it and secured the out there. Now 2 outs here in the inning.
Paige Connery now. A chance to keep the game extended for the Monks. Low and away for ball number 1.
Yeah, down at their last out are the Monks, trying to get a little bit of 2-out action here on the base pass, trying to extend this one.
As Johnson just a terrific pitch for strike number 1.
Yeah, that pitch was just the bottom fell out of that pitch. Beautiful changeup there. As we've talked about a few times here in the booth, the changeup has been very solid pitch for Johnson.
Johnson gets it over to Exel for first base, and that's going to do it for game number 1. The Eagles coming away with a solid 2-0 win over the Monks in game number 1. Jacob, we saw a lot of good things from the Eagles. What stood out to you in that one?
Right now, what stood out to me in that first game was the dominance in the circle from Sky Johnson. She threw very solidly. She was as advertised. She showed why she was one of the better pitchers in the conference at Tufts, which is a very good softball program. She came here in the circle today. She showed why she's been very solid for the Eagles throughout the season.
Once again, a stellar performance for Sky Johnson in the circle. And that's going to do it for us here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We'll be right back in an hour for game number 2. Our colleagues, Kaden Trendowith and Xander Cook, getting ready to deliver you some absolutely fantastic commentary for that game. But for now, for Jacob Ouellette, I'm Sam Miller saying thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to O'Keefe Field for Game 2 of this softball doubleheader between Husson University and St. Joe's. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Caden Trenowith. It's going to be an intense matchup in Game 1. We saw Jasmine Johnson with a complete game shutout, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, only 2 hits allowed. Incredible work from her.
Yeah, that's kind of what you expected from her. It was the first time pitching at O'Keefe Field, but she came here with a little bit of history. Was a Tufts University transfer, one of the top pitchers in the NESCAC division, which is a tough accomplishment for the Eagles to land her in the transfer portal. Was one heck of a pickup.
And then we also saw Lydia Rice with a triple in that game, end up scoring on a sack. It's going to be an intense matchup in this one. Another pitcher's duel with Anna Lang taking the mound for these Eagles.
Yeah, Anna Lang, only the junior, but she already ranks 8th all-time in Husson strikeouts, was the NAC Rookie of the Year last year, and was the Maine college baseball softball all-star last year.
Here's Michaela Quintal. Pitch upstairs for ball 1.
Quintal went 0-3 with a strikeout against Johnson last time up. She has another tough matchup here against Long.
That pitch is in there for strike 1. Quintal looking on that one. Trying to get a feel for Lang's pitches in this matchup.
Very interested to see how the Monks attack the Eagles here. Obviously, they only had the 2 hits last time. Do they stay patient or do they jump on that first pitch as soon as they like it?
That ball upstairs, ball 2. Going back to what you said, Caden, got to attack these pitches after not scoring in Game 1. You want to get something going in Game 2 if you're the Monks.
Long does fall behind and count sometimes, but she throws super hard. And abilities like that, placing it on the corner no matter the count, is what kind of keeps her in these counts, keeps the hitters on their toes a little bit.
Here's the payoff pitch from Long. That ball is grounded, and an easy out there for these Eagles.
That was just a great job by Long. Obviously, that 3-1 count, a couple not wild pitches to say, but some that were definitely far out of the strike zone. Came back with that payoff pitch right on that corner. Quintal did a great job just trying to fight it off. Fortunately, her right to the third baseman, Gregoire, fires it over to XL. Easy 5-3.
Ball 1, low and inside. Here's a pitch from Long. And that'll be another ball just under. That was a close call there. Another pitch to Gregoire. Over to Exel, out number 2 for these Eagles.
Back-to-back 5-3s. Gregoire is someone who doesn't make a lot of errors over there. The graduate student, only 4 errors from that third base side. Reliable right on that hot corner.
Chantel Bouchard now up to the plate. Bouchard, absolutely incredible for St. Joseph. 2024 NAC All-Conference First Team, Player of the Week, a couple times, All-State First Team, All-Region Second Team. She's missed do it all. That ball tipped and caught. Strike number 2.
Was also a member of that Maine College Baseball Softball Association All-State team that Anna was on. So nice little matchup here. 2 of the best players in Division III going at it.
This is one matchup we're going to love to enjoy all day. As there's a swing and a miss on a long, dirty work from her on the mound. A quick 1-2-3 punch as we head to the bottom of the first. And in the bottom of the first, it is King, Biombi, and McCabe due up. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
I knew that too.
Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network, where we will see King, Biombi, and McCabe.
King, one of those players you don't want to get on base, has 10 stolen bases this season. The Monks can find a way to get out the leadoff hitter. Be a great setup for the rest of this inning.
And on the mound is Riley Page, right-handed pitcher from Somersworth, New Hampshire. This season, 4.46 ERA, 3-2 record in 12 games, 8 strikeouts or shutouts.
Really attacking that inside so far here on King. King's just waiting for that pitch that she likes so far. She's loving that inside.
Strike 2 from Page. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball is hit in the air, and under it to make the grab is Terrell, as there's out number 1 for St. Joseph.
Yeah, that one was another one of those inside pitches. King just kind of had to adjust on it that time with 2 strikes. Ended up just being a nice little pop out to center field. Easy play for the Monks. And a great person to get out at the top of the lineup.
Due up is Tatiana Biombi. Rise ball upstairs for ball 1.
Obviously, it's almost 3 weeks ago now since these Eagles last played. Before this game, at least, before the game earlier today. But the last series she had against RIC, she went 4 for 9. And had an RBI as well. Someone in that 2-hole that you just love to have.
A good hitter, too, batting .265 on the year. Showcases the hitting there. However, Terrell is under it yet again, and that is out number 2. Now it's Bula McCabe out. Powerful hitter for these Eagles. All-conference first team in back-to-back years. There's inside pitch, ball 1. McCabe batting .268 on the year with 11 RBIs. Another pitch high, ball 2.
She's someone that leads by example all the time. She's the captain of this Eagles softball team. That's .304 throughout her career.
And that ball is just foul down the third baseline. Page able to get strike 1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that ball is crushed. And out of here! Bula McCabe, round tripper. Empty the dugout. Husson on board 1-0 early on in this game 2 for these Eagles.
That's just a great swing. She was attacking that inside pretty much this whole inning, Xander. Bula does a great job recognizing it, turns on it, goes right next to the scoreboard. What a swing.
Showcasing why she was NAC East All-Conference first team on that pitch. He's a powerful hitter. Here's Gregoire. Another ball for Paige. Paige early on. Not enough control on her pitches. We're seeing a lot of balls so far. Another rise ball upstairs for ball 2. That one right down the middle for strike 1.
Eagles being pretty selective on which pitch they like so far, really working these counts in their favor, which has really worked out. Paige, obviously, like you said, a little bit wild so far to start this game.
As there's a swing and a miss for Gregoire. 2-2 count now. But like you mentioned, they are pretty selective so far. They're trying to get a feel for Riley Paige, see what pitches they like out of her. That one low for full count.
Gregoire was the NAC Player of the Week back when they played RIC. Obviously, again, that was 3 weeks ago, and that really tampers into the hitting into this. Like, you haven't seen a professional hit pitcher in a long time.
And that ball is cranked over the head of Connery. Heading towards second is Gregoire. And just like that, Eagles gaining a lot of momentum early on.
So take back everything I just said. These Eagles have not lost a touch in those 3 weeks. Doing a great job so far. And that's a big hit for Gregoire. She was 0 for 3 in that first game. To get that first knock in that 3-week span has to feel so good standing on second, Xander.
Now out comes Exel. And that one's grounded. And they can't get a play out of it. Cloutier able to stop the ball from going out into the outfield. However, that was Exel with just enough speed. Cloutier tried to look 3, but Foley wasn't there to cover the bag in time.
Yeah, such a tough play at that shortstop position. Obviously, you get down, you get dirty, want to make that play, but it's just so much happening so quickly. That's just hard to really get that.
And in a rundown is Gregoire. No one covering 2. And safe at home is Gregoire. Just phenomenal base running from these Eagles. It's 2-0.
Yeah.
What was that?
High IQ play by Exel and Gregoire. Obviously, Exel takes off, really just jogging down the baseline, wants to get thrown out. Monks don't realize it, but Gregoire just sneaks down the baseline, takes an easy run for the Eagles. And they've already tied their total of last game here in the first inning, Z.
This is what you want out of these Eagles, lighting up the bats early on. Lindsey Reed swinging, however, it's a foul ball. Still remains 0-2 count.
Lindsey Reed, someone who had a great series last time out as well. 4 for 7 in a home run, 2-run shot in that series, which was just an absolute slugfest. I think 32 hits combined in that series, Z.
Great series showcasing the ability to get contact with the ball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Reed swinging and out at first. Great play by Foley over there at third. It is 2-0 Eagles after 1. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network for Carpenter, Foley, and Page. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Caden Trenowith. We're in the top second inning, where we will see Abby Carpenter up to the plate. Senior from Bath, Maine. Career average of .290, incredible hitter for these Monks.
Looks like they have some sort of change out there. Umpire discussing. But 1-2-3 last inning here for Lang. Obviously, you want to, the bats are hot right now, Xander. You want to get these next three batters, get the bats back in the dugout, back on the field, let them put the helmets on and let them swing because they are feeling it right now. 2-run support now, a lot of pressure off Lang.
Lang's pitch in there for strike one. Yeah, get the bats going early, because if you're Eagles, you're already confident with Anna Lang out there on the mound, as there's strike two. Feeling it early on.
0-2 count. Long can do a lot here.
And there's a swing and a miss for strikeout number 2 for Anna Lang. And that's what Lang does best, those swings and misses.
Yeah, she just does a tremendous job of working her pitches, right? I mean, you see those fastball. It's a great fastball, but she'll mix in that changeup every once in a while. Just keep you on your toes. She tunnels it really well.
And there's strike one. We have a 1-1 count. So there's Foley up to the plate. Sylvia Foley, career average of .307, batting .295 this season alone. With 6 doubles and a triple and a homer for these Monks. It's going to be a tough test for Lang out there on the mound when facing Foley. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside for ball 2. 2-2 pitch. Hit foul.
Just a great fight right there from Foley. Obviously, probably not the pitch you want to swing at if it's early in this count, but in a 2-2 count, anything close you have to swing. The strike zone is just a little bit swollen right now. So far from what we've seen in the first inning, that you just have to make those couple cuts, and now you're going to make Lang just throw those extra pitches, tire her out.
Exactly. There's another foul from Foley. This is already pitch number 7 in this battle. Great eye from Foley in this matchup, as there's another foul. 3 straight pitches, 3 late swings, but she's still working the count. Pitch number 8 from Lang. There's full count. Great composure there from Foley.
Trying to go inside fastball there, but great job getting out of the way, taking that for a ball.
There's yet another foul ball. McLeod tried to go over there, but it was just outside the fence. Great hand-eye coordination from Foley in this at-bat. Here's the payoff pitch from Lang. And that is outside, ball 4. Foley will take first. Tremendous work there from Foley on Lang.
Yeah, absolutely. Fell to that 1-2 count fairly early, very quickly. And she just did a tremendous job working the counts. Like 5 foul balls we counted. Just a tremendous job.
Page looking on strike 1. And there's a swing and a miss from Riley Page. Oh, 2 pitch from Lang. Got her swinging. Out number 2. There's number 3 from Lang early on.
Yeah, her stuff's nasty today, Xander. 3 strikeouts already this game, mowing down these hitters.
Ball 1 from Lang. She is feeling it early on in this matchup, like we've mentioned, Caden. The fastballs are there, the changeups are there, the rise balls are there. And that's strike 1, excuse me. Runner on first for these Monks. As that ball is grounded over to 2, and there's out number 3. That was Valinsky to Axel. And we are headed to bottom second. This Eagles defense lighting it up so far. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Due up is Kiara McLeod. And Caden, last series versus RIC, she was tremendous at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. She was earlier today too. She was 1 for 1 with good job forcing the count as well. Got on base with the walk. The last series against RIC went 4 for 7, had a double and an RBI. Also came across twice for the Eagles.
Already up 2-0 in this count. Patience, patience, patience. That is McLeod's game. That ball inside, out of the zone, 3-0 count.
Probably not getting the green light here, only if you like it. Pitch right down the middle, she takes it.
3-1 count for McLeod now. Seeing these Eagles batters, tremendous work with the eyes. There's a walk for McLeod, but they're seeing the pitch well early on. Making Page work for it. That ball is tanked by Tainter. And diving grab over in center field, Terrell. Out number 1 for the Monks. Great play over there in center field from Terrell.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing off the range right there. I mean, she went all the way from the H logo in center field, almost all the way to the S by the time she landed on the slide.
And there's grounder over to left field. Base hit for Valinsky. 2 runners on, only 1 out for these Eagles. You got King up next.
Interesting spot here for the Monks. Top of the order coming back up with 2 runners on. A lot of dangerous speed as well. I mean, Valinsky just last season was a St. Joseph's, Connecticut transfer. She played in the GNAC conference where she was an all-conference second team.
And she's the one hitter for a reason. Anything into the outfield could be dangerous for the Monks. Here's the pitch. King shows bunt, doesn't get it.
Great defensive awareness right there from the Monks. Very quick to execute the game plan for the 2-run bunt here.
Swing and a miss from King. Quickly down 0-2 in this count. And if you're Riley Page, an out here would be tremendous. Rise ball upstairs for ball 1.
Riley Page is a pitch-to-contact hitter. I mean, in all of her appearances this season, which is 12 of them, she's only has 8 strikeouts. So she's going to pitch to contact as if that defense can hold strong and those hits are to somebody. So you don't expect a strikeout out of her, but you just expect her to make those plays.
As that ball is tipped foul again. King making a little bit of progress in this at-bat. Getting contact with the ball, however, it's just a couple late swings. Here's a 1-2 pitch. King sends that one high and deep, but Terrell is under it for out number 2, and McLeod goes to 3. And up next is Biombi, who flew out last inning. She has a runner in scoring position.
I really like that at-bat out of King. You made Page have some pitches. Either way, you advance the runner. And now you got Biombi, who has a great chance to knock someone in. She's done it plenty of times already this season.
Biombi shows bunt. And no one on second. Stolen base for Valinsky. Tried to pick off McLeod over at third. Couldn't get it done, and no one was covering too.
Yeah, that's the same play we saw last inning, Xander, where Torrey tried to steal second, but just stopped midway through, got that runner home. Obviously going for it again. Monks learned their lesson. Quick to recognize it.
Great base running so far from these Eagles. Biombi 0-1. Here's the pitch. Sends that one. Great diving play by Foley to 1. Got it. So the Monks avoid any damage here in the bottom second inning. Great diving play by Foley. As we head to the top of the third inning, it's still 2-0 Eagles. Welcome back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network for the top third inning. It's Green Cermak up to the plate. Lang's pitch down the middle for strike 1. We keep mentioning, if you're the Monks, have to make contact with the ball. You're down 0-2 early on.
Yeah, that first pitch clipped that outside corner. Second pitch a little bit more inside, more down the middle. But Long is just absolutely doing a great job with these hitters.
Lang up 2-0 in this one. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Anna Lang with her 4th this game. We just see that so much out of her throughout the years, Caden.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Only the sophomore, already in the top 10 all time for strikeouts in a Husson uniform. Just does a great job commanding the circle and really just has that presence. As soon as you step in that batter's box, you are down in the count against her, and you're fighting for your life that very next pitch.
That one low and outside for ball 1. Like we mentioned, it's dangerous when facing Anna Lang when she's on the mound. She walks out into the circle with so much confidence, so much swagger. Like you said, it feels like you're already down in the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's swung on and missed yet again. Another strikeout from Anna Lang.
Strikeouts have been a problem so far for the Monks. I mean, 7 last game with Johnson. Now you're already at 5 in this game through 3 innings. Got to figure out a way to make contact, make this Eagles defense work a little bit.
They are not seeing the ball well in these 2 matchups. Johnson and Lang so far putting on gems. Quintal with a ground out in the 1st inning. Hopefully spark some momentum for these Monks. Looks at strike 2. It's going to be hard to gain a little bit of momentum when Anna Lang is feeling her A game so far. It's Lang's 1-2 pitch. That's tipped foul.
The only time we've really seen her struggle is when they start fighting off those 2-strike pitches. When that strikeout stuff isn't working on the hitter, that's the only time we've really seen her struggle. And that's what ended up leading to that walk where she was up in the count 1-2.
That pitch tipped foul. Quintal making Lang work for that punch out. That one upstairs for ball 2. Good eye from Quintal.
Yeah, that one looked like to be a little bit of a changeup, a little off speed. You could kind of see the break in it just a little bit. Unfortunately, just released it a little bit too late, ended up too high.
2-2 pitch. That one swung on into the middle of no man's land for a base hit. Like I mentioned, Caden, just one hit could spark a little bit of momentum for these Monks. Finally happened in the top 3rd inning.
Yeah, lucky for the Eagles, though. They already have 2 outs, and now you have a force at 2 bags. So, I mean, you can get out of it really easily. It's a lot better than if there was 0 outs.
And there's another base hit for these Monks. That's a single for Terrell. And just like that, runners on 1st and 2nd for the Monks with Bouchard due up. Bouchard has a runner in scoring position. Here's Lang's pitch. Just in the strike zone for strike 1. That one barely tipped foul.
Yeah, I tried to check up there.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to be an inside ball, but just managed to hit the barrel just enough to knock it foul. Any break you can get.
Just like that, Bouchard is down 0-2. There's the 0-2 pitch from Lang. Swung on and missed. Anna Lang with strikeout number 6 in this matchup through 3 innings, and the Monks failed to capitalize off of 2 base runners. Leave 2 stranded. And we are now headed to the bottom 3rd inning. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Caden Trenowith. We are here in the bottom third inning, where it's 2-0 Eagles. Bula McCabe up to bat.
Interested to see what Paige does here. Obviously, the heart of the order. 4 hits allowed so far in this ball game. 3 of them in these next 3 batters.
And McCabe, last time she was up, had that home run. This one into left field for a base hit. Single for McCabe.
First pitch she sees, she likes it, rips it right down the line. She's on fire today, 2 for 2 with the home run and the single.
Gregoire due up. She had that double right after McCabe's home run. Paige's pitch, a little too high for ball 1. And this heart of the order, Caden, starting to figure out Paige here early on. So there's a swing and a miss from Gregoire.
Yeah, Paige has to mix it up a little bit, and that's actually what we just saw. That was a nice changeup following a fastball. That really just pulled the string on the hitter right there.
1-1 pitch from Paige. That one tipped foul. It is now a 1-2 count. A strikeout here from Paige would feel so good for her. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one just outside, ball 2.
Hey, you can tell Paige wanted that one, just stared there and looked at the umpire for a long time afterwards. Just like, where'd it go? That was right down the middle.
One of those that could have gone either way.
Right on the line, they say.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Oh no, foul ball. Barely got enough on that one.
Just enough to stay alive. What can you do with it? Second life.
Gregoire. It's now a full count for Paige. That's tough. Going up 1-2. Now it's 3-2. I can start to get in the pitcher's head a little bit. Here's the payoff pitch. That one's fouled down the third baseline. Still remains full count. Payoff pitch. In there for strike 3, and Riley Paige finally gets a strikeout in this ball game. That's got to feel good for Riley Paige there. Finally getting a strikeout, making Gregoire swing and miss. Or look at that one. As Axel hits it into left, and it's barely a hit for the Eagles.
Yeah, that one looked like to be in the glove of Comrie for a really long time.
Just fell out.
I think as soon as she made contact with the ground, her glove just moved a little bit,
Yep.
allowing that ball to fall out. Hits the kind of dead grass out there. Still springtime here in Maine.
Springtime and a cloudy day. Wish it was sunny for this matchup. Runners on first and second. That one swung on and fouled by Reed.
That was Tori Excel's 100th hit in an Eagles uniform.
Congratulations, Miss Axel. 100 hits. Wow. Lindsay Reed with the runner in scoring position down 0-1. Turns 2. Can't get the runner over at first. But Quintal able to eliminate that second runner in scoring position. It is now 2 outs for the Monks. Runners on first and third. Now it's McLeod up to the plate. And that one's a base hit. Another run scores for these Eagles. And it is now 3-0 Husson.
Husson working really quickly here all of a sudden. Only seen about 4 or 5 pitches, and they're making Paige pay here.
Tainter up to the plate. Runners on first and third. Shows bunt, doesn't get it. Here's a throw. Able to get the tag. No! It is a stolen base. Looked like she had it, but the ball fell out.
Yeah, second time this inning that's happened to the Monks where they're almost out of the inning. The ball falls out on them.
Runners on second and third now for Tainter. Anything into the outfield could score these 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Tainter swings on that one, and that's heading into left. 1 run scores. Throw home not in time. 2 runs score, and that is a 2 RBI single for Tainter. And these Eagles are lighting it up so far at O'Keefe Field.
That's just hitting. That's just doing a great job in the batter's box. Situational hitting, ducks on pond as they call it. Just doing a great job getting it to the outfield, making it just easy for those 2 runs to come in and score. That gives you coach trust points right there.
It's hitting 101 as the infield is meeting with Riley Page. Trying to calm her down a little. Eagles have 5 runs on 8 hits. Ella Hosford up to the plate. Replacing Valinsky. Just trying to calm her down a little bit. Yeah, you have 5 runs on 8 hits. But the infield letting Page know, hey, don't get into your head. It's going to be okay. Just 1 more out. That's all it is. 1 more out. Forget about the last at-bat.
Hosford, the lone lefty on this Eagles squad. 2-sport athlete. 2 of them actually on this team. Her and Lindsay Reed, both on the soccer team.
Page's pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Hosford quickly down 0-2. That's 2 great pitches for Page. Problem is when she's up early, starts to lose a little bit of control. Here's the 0-2. That is grounded on. And that is out number 3 for the Monks. Cloutier able to make the play there at short. It is 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom 3rd inning for these Eagles. It is 5-0 as we head to the top 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the top of the 4th inning on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Caden Trenowith. Anna Lang is going ballistic out there in the circle so far, Caden.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 Ks already. Carpenter already fell victim once today. See if she can change the fate. Obviously, after 3 runs, you want to get some base runners on, especially with no outs on the board yet. Couldn't do that last inning. Had those 2 base runners, but it was both with 2 outs, so you don't really have a lot of wiggle room there.
One pitch from Lang. Grounded right to her. Easy out number 1 for the Eagles. Not only can she hurt you with the pitches, she can hurt you defensively as well. Any ball that comes her way, she doesn't make any errors when she's fielding. And pinch hitting for the Monks is Katie Bent, the senior out of New Hampshire, batting just under 200 on the year.
Only 12 attempts, though, on base, just under 400% of the time, or 0.400%.
Here's the first pitch from Lang. That one tipped foul.
Ben just does a great job working those walks is what she does well at. I mean, not a lot of plate appearances, but 5 walks already.
A 1 pitch from Lang. That's outside ball 2. Or ball 1, excuse me. That one tipped foul. Makes it 1-2. And Bent's able to make contact with the ball in this matchup so far. One-two pitch from Lang. Swung on and missed. There is another strikeout from Lang. Make that 7 for the game. Already tying Jasmine Johnson last game with 7. Except Lang's done it in 3 fewer innings.
Yeah, that high velocity pitch has really been working for her. Those fastballs that are just really up in that zone is what you've seen really be her payoff pitch so far.
That one tipped foul behind. 1-1 count. Seeing the Monks make contact, just can't get anything into the field in this matchup. Only 2 hits so far compared to the Eagles' 8. Good eye there from Riley Page, makes it a 2-1 count. Another ball, 3-1 count. If you're the Monks, what do you have to do in this matchup to sort of get back into the game, spark a little bit of momentum?
I think it all starts with those quality at-bats. I mean, we've seen where she really struggles the most is when you get into those 1-2 counts and then you start fouling them away. Then she's trying to go for that payoff pitch, and all of a sudden now it's a 3-2 count. Now you can get that pitch right down the middle. You can either hit, it's either going to be a walk. You can get a base runner from those counts, and that's what the Monks have done so well at. You have to be patient, foul off what you don't like. That's just the fundamentals of hitting, getting those base runners early in the counts. Try to work your way back slowly. But you really also have to make this Husson Eagles defense work. They haven't had a lot of opportunities so far this game.
Payoff pitch. Right over to Housford there. And there is out number 3. And like we mentioned, they haven't been able to make this defense work for it. Right there, didn't really make them work for it. Right to Housford for an easy out. And we are heading to the bottom 4th inning, still 5-0 Husson. Welcome to the bottom 4th inning in Game 2 of Husson St. Joseph's. We have a pitching change. It is now Miranda Northrup in the circle, Caden.
Yeah, Northrup, 10 appearances so far this season, only 20 innings pitched. Started 3 games. Another one that doesn't really like to strike out all that much. Doesn't have really that payoff pitch. More lets that defense work behind her, which honestly has been fantastic today. A couple of nice plays so far from the Monks. Opponents are hitting .371 against her. The problem has been the extra base hits with the 5 doubles and 3 home runs allowed.
The 1-0 pitch from Northrup in there for strike 1. King is 0 for 2 today. Trying to get something going. One pitch. King shows bunt. Pulls back. Good eye there. It is now 2-1.
King is 0 for 2 today, but one of those at-bats was really just a quality at-bat with runners at the corners.
And King hits that one high, deep, but under it is Terrell for out number 1.
Third time today she's lined out to center field. Having a special connection out there.
A little bit of telekinesis going on between King and Terrell today.
Looks like we'll get a pinch hitter here.
It is Taylor Watterson, the junior out of New Boston, New Hampshire. Hasn't seen a lot of success this season, but she's only had 11 appearances.
Yeah, really emptying the bench here. Obviously a non-conference game. You haven't played in 3 weeks. Kind of has to be the strategy. Get everybody some at-bats, get some quality swings, just get the feel back for it, especially here at home. This first time home opener. Just empty the bench. Let everybody get some swings. I really like this coaching decision, even though it's still kind of a close game.
I agree for sure. Especially, like, you haven't played in 3 weeks. They were supposed to play Wednesday. Obviously, weather was a factor. Supposed to play Thursday. This field wasn't ready. So now we finally get some action today. As there's a swing and a base hit. Watterson with her second hit this season. Just like that, runner on first for the Eagles. It is now Emily Dunbar. Excuse me. It is not Emily Dunbar. Here's Bula McCabe still. My bad, guys. Got people up here laughing at me. I don't like it. 1-1 count from McCabe.
I will take blame for that one. I was warning you that Dunbar was on deck.
2-1 count now. Thank you, Caden, for pointing at the wrong person.
I did point at the right person. I pointed at deck, and then I pointed at Dunbar. You just didn't make that correlation.
I'm not good with social cues, okay? 2-1 count. That's outside ball 3. Bad with directions too, I guess. Inside ball 3, excuse me.
McCabe 2 for 2 today with a single and a home run.
That one is crushed foul.
You jumped out of your seat. I think you thought that one was gone off the bat.
I like seeing foul balls. What can I say? Here's the payoff pitch. Another foul ball behind us. Cabe working the count now. Three-two pitch. That one tipped foul yet again.
Just staying alive here. This is a quality at bat. Making the new pitcher just throw out everything.
It's a quality at bat for a quality player.
Showing off that arsenal right now. A lot of foul balls, just staying alive. Eventually, she's going to get a pitch she likes, and she's done some damage today already, so she's feeling it.
Homer in the first inning, single in the third inning. We'll see what she does now. 3-2, and that'll send her walking. Runners on first and second now for these Eagles. With Emily Dunbar up to the plate.
Now she's up.
Woo woo! First pitch right down the middle, strike one. Northrup has to make quick work in this at-bat. Runner in scoring position for these Eagles. Upstairs, ball one.
Dunbar, someone else who, numbers just don't pop out at you. But that's because not a lot of plate appearances so far, only 10 on the season. But in those 10, she's had a double, an RBI, and has forced a walk.
Beautiful pitch from Northrup. Makes it 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's hit. Just foul. Able to work the count, Dunbar. If that was just half a foot to the right, that would have been fair. Dunbar chops at that one. Sends it back for another foul. See these Eagles making good contact with the ball, but can't get some of them in play. Still good hand-eye coordination with the bat. And that one's up top for ball two, 2-2 count for Dunbar.
Especially when you have two strikes on you, a lot of that is just planned hitting too, just plan to make it go foul if it's anything close. That's what a lot of the quality hitters do at the higher levels.
And another good eye from Dunbar. It is now full count. Till she thought about swinging for half a second.
Yeah, I think he definitely thought that one was on the borderline of being a strike. That one had a little bit of late movement on it, cuts a little bit towards that outside.
And Dunbar sends that way into the sky. And under it is Connery for out number two. Here's Tori Exel.
Two singles so far today.
Two singles, and she has runners on first and second. Swung on and missed for strike one.
Yeah, just looked a tad early on that one. The shoulder just really kind of exposed just a little bit, making her really just kind of pull that head.
That one's hit. And great catch by Quintal over there to send this one to the top fifth inning. And we'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Caden Trenowith, and I'm Xander Cook. It is 5-0 Eagles. Those 5 runs on 9 hits. And the Monks only with 2 hits through 4.
Yeah, 2 of those hits came back-to-back with 2 outs in top of the 3rd inning. So you really haven't seen a threat so far. I mean, obviously those 2 hits, you had a runner in scoring position in that top of the 3rd, but with 2 outs, it's not that much of a threat as if there was, say, 1 out. So that's really been the problem so far. This Eagles defense is just doing a tremendous job of eliminating those threats even when the ball gets in play. We know what the strikeouts have been.
7 strikeouts on the day for Anna Lang. There's strike 2.
Looks like Lang had the wrong pitch cue there. Apologizing.
Swung on and missed. That's number 8 for Lang. Feeling it in this matchup. Boy, is she on fire.
7 strikeouts through 4.1 innings of work. Other than the 2 singles, ball hasn't left the infield yet.
And that one's under Exel's glove. Can't get that one. That is runner on first base now for these Monks. Exel thought she had it, but it went just under the glove.
Hosford did a great job
yeah,
of just making that play over
Hosford
there.
Was there. That pitch swung on and missed for Cloutier. 0-1 count now for Lang. That one again swung on and missed. Quick 0-2. 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. 9 strikeouts for Anna Lang.
One thing that stands out for me about these 8 strikeouts now is all of them have been strikeouts swinging. There hasn't been a single strikeout looking so far for the Monks. So it's all pitches relatively close to the strike zone that the Monks are liking, but they just can't make contact on them. That's a sign of great movement out of the arm.
And that one is hit over to the shortstop. Great play by Tori Exel over there on first base. Stretching it to get that 3rd out. And we are heading to the bottom 5th inning where the Eagles are dominating in this matchup. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network, where we are in a 5-0 ball game. It is all Eagles in this matchup, Caden.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason for that is the difference in hitting. We were just talking about it. 9 strikeouts for the Monks versus 1 strikeout for the Eagles. I mean, it's just all about the pitching that we're seeing from Long.
Allie Cassavant up to the plate. Out of Rhode Island, the freshman. Cassavant seeing the first pitch, swings and misses for strike 1. Eagles have unloaded the bench here in the bottom 5th. Cassavant pops that one up right to Northrup for out number 1. McLeod up to plate. Any runs here would pretty much solidify a win for these Eagles. That ball is outside, ball 1 for Northrup.
Cloud is someone who's also having a great day so far. If you conclude the first game, she's technically 2 for 2 with 2 walks today, including an RBI single in this one.
Swings and misses. Filthy pitch there from Northrup. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's low for ball 2. Two one count. Make it 3-1. These Husson batters have a knack for selecting which pitch they want to swing on, Caden.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing a great job. Just really being patient with what they want. We've said it earlier in this game, too. The foul balls, like that one there, they just do a tremendous job. If it's anything close, they just foul it away. They wait for what they want. They don't care about what the count is. They don't care about falling behind. They just want what they want.
Full count now. Here's the payoff pitch. That one inside, ball 4. Another walk for these Eagles. And another walk for McLeod. That's now 2 in game 2. We're seeing 2s today.
A lot of 2s flying around.
A lot of 2s. 2's a good number.
We'll see number 2, Allie Cassavant, coming up soon. The freshman. Not up yet, but she did sub in last inning, so we'll probably see her coming up.
No, she was actually the first batter in this inning. Popped up.
That's right.
Yeah. It's okay. It's one of those days, folks. It's the weather. The weather.
Yeah, blame the weather. Blame the weather.
Yeah, the weather is not it today. If it was clear skies and 80 degrees, perfect.
80 degrees is a little bit much.
I want 80 degrees.
That's the California.
Here's the line out over to center for out number 2, and you're right. It is the California in me. I don't like this weather, okay? California in me is crying right now.
Oh, I know what I did. I put Cassavant down for the center fielder on the defensive sheet, but not
There
on
you
the
go.
offensive sheet. That's what happened. Totally missed it.
It's okay.
Happens.
Happens, yeah. You corrected me on a mistake, I'll correct you on a mistake. That's how it is. Osford takes ball 2. And McLeod will advance over to second. So just like that, Osford has a runner in scoring position. Two-0 pitch. Down the middle for strike one. Two-one count now for Hosford. That one is too low, ball three. That was a great play there by Carpenter, able to scoop that one to avoid any damage of having McLeod advance to three. And there's a walk for the Eagles again, this time Hosford.
Yeah, a lot of pitches in the dirt that time. Really not what you want. You want to find a way to claw back into this game, not let the Eagles get hot. But now the top of the order comes up with 2 runners on.
And it's now King, 2 runners on. All 3 plate appearances for King have been flyouts over to center field. Will we see another one?
I actually wouldn't mind it. Going 4 for 4, all line
That'd
out
be
to
crazy.
to
That
center
would be
field.
crazy.
That's hard to do. That's consistent contact.
Like I said, if we see it, it's for sure telekinesis. You heard it here first. We are seeing superpowers.
Reported on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Instead, she is hit by the pitch, and that'll load up the bases.
Load up the bases, not a hit so far this inning. Not an ideal stat to have when you're down 5 runs.
Here's Watterson up to the plate. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Obviously, this is, in softball rules, a walk-off scenario here. If all 3 runners come across the plate, the game's over.
Edge of the seat worthy. Here we go. Watterson swings at that one. That's foul for 0-1.
Watch out, Coach Roberts over there on that third base line.
Quick moves there by Roberts, though.
5th year with Husson, 2nd season as the head coach. Roberts is led the Eagles to a 20th in overall ranking last year nationally.
0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. Northrup losing control over these pitches. We see some of these heading into the dirt. Some of them outside, some of them low and inside. Got to get some down the middle. Watterson. That one goes foul. 1-2 pitch now. One-two pitch. Takes ball 2. 2-2 count with 2 outs and bases loaded for Watterson now. That one's popped up. And we are heading to the top of the 6th inning now. That was Cloutier under that one. Saves her team from losing on a walk-off. So we will be right back to the top of the 6th inning on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We have Sadie Terrell up to the plate. Anna Lang still out there in the circle with 9 strikeouts on the day. That one over the head of Kosovan. Turning 2 is Terrell in there safely. And just like that, a runner on scoring position for the Monks. And Bouchard is up to the plate.
And that's what we've been talking about. Terrell, of course, is the one to do it, but she's been the only one to really make contact so far today. I mean, getting that runner in scoring position early in the inning instead of late when there's 2 outs. You finally set yourself up good to get one across the plate.
And that one makes it 0-2 for these Eagles.
Bouchard, 2 strikeouts today. We've seen her swing on that 3rd strike high and away fastball both times to get that K. Interesting to see if it comes back to it.
That one's too low. Bouchard takes ball 1. Lang with the 1-2 pitch. Bouchard just under it, tip foul. Still staying alive though. That one's upstairs, ball 2. And like you mentioned, Bouchard, any pitches thrown high, she swings at them, doesn't there. That one chopped foul yet again.
Yeah, doing a lot better this time around. Those first 2 at-bats she had were very quick at-bats. Pretty much 3-4 pitches both times. This time around, she's doing a great job. Just fighting off, waiting for what she likes. Very important not pick up that 3rd strikeout, especially with a runner on scoring position with the heart of the order coming up.
Huge at-bat for Bouchard. 2-2 count, no outs, and you have a runner in scoring position. Lang. That one's inside, ball 3. Full count now for Bouchard. This is the payoff pitch from Lang. That one's grounded.
Tough play.
To first. And that is safe for Bouchard. That was runners on 1st and 3rd, Caden.
Yeah,
That one was a little close.
That was a really tough play off the bat. I mean, runners cutting across you as you're trying to make that play. King just did a great job trying to scoop it, fire it as quickly as she can. Obviously, field due to where the runner is off that double bagger, he's way over by the shortstop as well, so that's a tough call to make looking across the field.
Clara Christensen replacing Bouchard over there at first. Now it's Abby Carpenter up to the plate. Runners on 1st and 3rd, no outs. Best case scenario here would be a double play for the Eagles. Best case for Carpenter, you score a run.
Either way, you get this ball in play, a runner's coming across home unless the Eagles try to do something a little crazy with 5 runs, going home with it to try to save the shutout. Can't imagine they do that. Carpenter, as the senior, you just have to get this ball in play. She's the perfect person to do so. 319 average on the season, 3 doubles and a home run, 11 RBIs, and there's one.
There she finally gets the ball into the outfield. That'll score a run for the Monks. It is now 5-1 Husson. Runners on 1st and 2nd now. Carpenter single and the RBI. That is exactly what the Monks needed. Finally able to plate a runner. Now only down 4. And this inning, the bats are starting to make contact with the ball. Making this Husson defense work for it now. Better late than never.
3rd time through the order now, and that's really what's kind of sticking out is they're finally putting that ball in play.
Lang's pitch in there for strike one.
Freshman Tori Weber making her first appearance of the season out of Augusta, Maine.
That one swung on and missed, makes it 0-2. Here's the 0-2 count for Weber. That one's chopped foul. Here's Lang. Weber hit foul yet again. That one's hit right above us.
Good thing there was a roof there.
Good thing there is a roof there. Oh, 2 count for Lang. Hit backwards again. Weber doing a good job staying alive in this plate appearance. Making Lang work for that punch out. Lang making Weber work for that base hit.
They're out of balls down there on the field. Needed that one back instantly.
It's been a lot of fouls behind the field today. Here's Lang's pitch. Tipped foul again. Oh, 2 pitch now. That one's low for ball one. Good eye there from Weber. 3 straight fouls. Now you finally get a ball. Working the count here. 1-2 swung on and missed, and we have double digits from Anna Lang. 10 strikeouts, Caden. On fire.
Absolutely. Averaging 1 or 2 strikeouts an inning. It's just something you don't really see that often. Just a tremendous job in the circle today.
Here's Northrup due up. That is ball one for Lang. Husson finally got that first out at last at bat. Ball two. That one a little low. Lang's 2-0 pitch. It's now 3-0. We'll see if Northrup has the green light here. Probably not. And that is a walk for Northrup. Bases are loaded for these Monks with only 1 out. We have Brienne McMillan. And the infield is meeting with Lang. Coach Roberts meeting with Lang. She has 10 strikeouts and has only allowed 1 runner across the plate, having herself a great game. But now the bases are loaded and you're in the top 6 inning, and it's just a 4-run game.
Yeah, definitely an interesting scenario. Obviously pitching a great game, but so far in this inning, the top of the 6th, the 3rd time through the order, she has really started to struggle. Obviously the walk, the couple base hits, finally getting that ball where nobody is. The Monks finally figuring it out just a little bit. You don't want this offense to get hot.
Leaving Anna Lang out there in the circle, showing the amount of confidence they have for her to try and get out of this jam. There's ball one for McMillan.
Eagles in what we used to call back in high school, the wave depth. Corners in. And you got the double play depth over in the middle infield.
The 1-1 pitch. Hit foul. McMillan, the freshman out of Medway, Massachusetts. Down 1-2 in the count. She has bases loaded, only one out. Intense here, and swung on and missed. 11th heaven from Lang. 11 strikeouts. Makes it 2 outs in the top 6. Green Cermak up to the plate. Bases loaded. That one's hit right to Exel, and Lang is able to escape the jam. They left her out in the circle, showing the confidence they have for Anna. And she pays off with a strikeout and a light grounder. And we are heading to the bottom 6th inning. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network for the bottom 6th inning. Bullen McCabe up to bat. 2 for 2 in this matchup. Homer, single, and a walk. Takes ball 1.
Eagles have been really good at forcing the walk so far today. 5 free passes in just about 5 innings played for them.
That one too high, ball 2. Last inning, Eagles were able to escape out of the jam. The Monks not capitalizing on a bases loaded opportunity, stranding those runners. Critical for the Monks.
One swing in the bat, you had the opportunity to tie up the game. Obviously stranded all of them. That's not the case. Still 5-1 here. Time's running out for the Monks.
2-1 from Northrop. In there for strike 2. That one's grounded over to Carpenter to first. In time for out number 1. First appearance for Curtis in this matchup. Curtis, for her career, batting .283 with a homer, 14 RBIs. This season in only 11 appearances, batting just under .200 with a couple RBIs.
Kind of something we're seeing a lot, though, from Roberts as a coach is getting these people with not a lot of experience. That those ABs, obviously under 200, but only her 12th plate appearance on the year.
And that one's grounded over to short. Not in time. And that's a tough play over at first. Couldn't get the hop. And Curtis able to get on the bag, sticks at first. And now it's Axel at the plate.
Scorers mark that one down as an error. Obviously a tough play over there at short. Heading it down and back up real quick for that.
And that one is hit into the soft zone in the outfield. That's a base hit for Axel. Now it's Ali Kosovan. We'll see her for the second time.
You don't have to make it obvious.
Runners on first and second for. We have a pinch runner. That's Lydia Rice in for Axel.
Had a triple last game. Didn't get the start in game 2, but definitely made the impact in game 1.
In comes Kosovan. Had the pop up her last time up. That one swung on and just fouled.
Great contact on the first pitch she sees. Got all of it. Fortunately, just a little too early.
Here's the 0-1. That one just over the head of Northrup. Able to get Rice out at 2.
It's a tough play for Rice right there. Ball's popped up. You have to stall just a little bit. Obviously, once it hits the ground, she has to run full speed to it. But basically, when it's out there at shortstop, that's no man's land, and you're kind of caught up. There's nothing you could do on that one.
2 outs now for the Eagles. McLeod up to the plate. 2 walks and an RBI in this matchup. She's got runners on first and third. It's the 1-0 pitch. McLeod sends that one back for strike 1. Northrup's pitch outside, ball 2. Two 1 count now. That one swung on. Makes it 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 base runners. Here's the pitch. McLeod pops that one up to Northrup, able to make the catch. And we are heading to the top 7th inning, where it's 5-1 Husson Eagles. We'll be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Welcome back, everyone, for the top 7th inning. Due up is Charlotte Cloutier for the Monks. Anna Lang still out there in the circle.
Last inning here for the Monks. Have to score the 4 runs. Try to force extras here.
And that one's grounded over to 2. Out number 1 for the Eagles. Hosford, right place, right time. Didn't even have to move.
Those are actually the scariest ones if you're a middle infielder.
Especially if you miss it, then it's like, oh no.
In my personal experience as a middle infielder, the scariest ones were when it was just flat and you just had to wait for it.
Honestly, the scariest ones for me were the liners. Coming off the bat at 90 miles an hour right to your face. Ooh. I also have a problem with delayed reaction time, so just want to put that out of the way over there.
How do you get put in the outfield? That was too bad at shortstop.
2-1 count now. Kayla Quintal up to the plate. Lang trying to pick up the complete game. That one's grounded over to short. And that is in time. Out number 2 for these Eagles.
1 out away from the end of the game in a complete game for Anna. She's done a tremendous job today.
11 strikeouts, only 1 run allowed. Incredible.
And really, when you look at the sheet, there was only that one bad inning. The top of the 6th was the one inning things finally looked a little scary for her.
They were a little scare. Here's the 1-0. And that one just over the outstretched arms of Hosford. That is a base hit for these Monks. Solid contact from Sadie Terrell keeps this game alive.
The only one that has had Long's number so far. She's 3 for 4 on the day.
Now it's Bouchard up to the plate.
Eagles looking to improve to that 500 record. Not going 9-9. Start the season right before North Atlantic Conference play would be a big win.
There's strike 1 for Lang. And that one's popped up. Game over. Eagles soaring high to a victory. 5-1 is your final here at O'Keefe Field. Anna Lang, complete game. 11 strikeouts, 7 hits, 1 run allowed. Back-to-back pitching gems from these Eagles.
Just a tremendous game, tremendous day to be an Eagles fan. Obviously, you get the 2 wins against the North Atlantic, against an out-of-conference opponent. Get to use a little bit of your whole bench throughout the entire game. Just did a tremendous job bringing in pieces, winning the game. Obviously, a couple great defensive plays as well.
Eagles now 9-9 overall, clawing their way back to 500, while the Monks drop to 7-15 on the season. Back-to-back great games for these Eagles. We're going home some winners. Thank you for joining us today on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Xander Cook, joined alongside Caden Trenowith.